Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now today we are going to see what is a Gratuity Act. Actually, before that we have seen so many videos like what is a international business, what are the things associated with the international business, what is a pestle analysis, so on. Means we have seen a number of topics so far, but now what we are going to see, it is related to the employee. What are the benefits, what are the compensations are associated with the employees, that will be discussed in the today's videos, because we have seen so many disputes are happening between the employee and employer. So that has to be recognized, recognized by someone, and there must be a prevention preventive laws for the same. And with the respect to the same, Indian government has developed some laws, and we are going to see all those laws. And out of these laws, we are going to see Gratuity Act in the brief. So let's start for the today's sessions. The brief introduction about the Indian laws. The Minimum Wages Act 1948, Factories Act 1948, Maternity Benefit Act 1961, Payment of Bonus, etc. Payment of Bonus Act 1965 are some important labor laws in India. Those laws have many provisions to save an interest of the workers of the organization, organized and unorganized sectors in India. Labor comes under the construction list of the Indian Constitution. Yes, all those acts are playing a more important role while any disputes or any wrong thing is happening in any organizations. It may be a public sector, it may be a government sector. All those rules are applicable for both, for uh, both private and government sector also. So all these acts are being prepared by Indian governments. So many acts are there, like like Plantation Act 1951, Enumeration Act 1976. All those acts are being a part of all the laws which are being prepared by government, Indian government, in the favor of the employee. The Indian labor law are made to define clear-cut relations between employer and employer. Yes, it is. All those laws are being prepared to determine what kind of relation employer and employer are having. When some disputes are happening in between them, in that case, all those laws are helping employee, as well as all those laws are helping to the employer also. The Indian labor laws are made to safeguard the interest of the workers. Yes, all those laws are, we can say it is a 70-30 patterns. All those laws are 70% helping to the workers, and as well as 30% helping to the employers. Now we are going to see how many laws are there. There are some laws like Factories Act 1948, Maternity Act 1961, ERA, Industrial Employment Standing Order Act 1946, Payment of Wages Act 1936, Minimum Wages Act 1948, Employees for Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Act 1952, Bonus Act 1965. All those acts are there. Some are benefit, some are providing benefits to the employees, some are providing compensation to employees, some are providing rights to the employees, some are providing, means in the case of ERA, we can see it is related to the similarities between the woman and men. So all these acts are there, and they are playing their role as good as they can. Now we are going to see what is the compensation, because as I said earlier, there are some laws which are giving compensation and benefits. The compensation and the benefits refers to the compensations or the salary or other monetary and non-monetary benefits passed by a firm to its employee. Compensation and benefits is an important aspect of HRM, as it helps to keep the workforce motivated. yes, sometimes it is necessary to it is necessary to give some rewards, or some non-monetary rewards are also playing important roles to motivate employees. So all these are the part of HRM. No, we need not to think, we need not to discuss about HRM in this video so far. So we are going to discuss about what are the laws. Now we are going to see what is the Gratuity Acts and what are the benefits of the Gratuity Acts, and what are the areas are being considered while we are calculating about Gratuity Act. So Gratuity Act is a benefit that is payable under the payment of Gratuity Act 1972. Gratuity is a sum of money paid by an employer to employee for the service rendered in a company, but the gratuity is paid to only employees who completed 5 or more years in the same company. Yes, Gratuity Act is provide. It is a kind of benefits acts, and it is the gratuity for getting eligible for the gratuity. The employee has to complete his continuous service of 5 years or more than 5 years. It is this act is been forced from 1972. That's why it is called as a Gratuity Act 1972. Gratuity is a financial component offered by an employer to employee in the recognition of his or her service rendered to an organization, and it is a part of service an employee receive can be viewed as a benefit plan designed to aid individual in his or her retirement. Yes, as I told you earlier, it is a kind of benefit law, and this law is providing benefit to the employee after his retirement or after the completion of 5 years in the same organization. Or we can say the gratuity is paid by an employee when an employee leave the job after serving the same organization for minimum 5 years. In the short and sweet words, we can say it is a financial thank you said by employer to the employee after finishing his long service for that organizations. Now, eligible criteria for the gratuity. Following are the few instances when we will be or anybody will be receive a gratuity. Employee should be eligible for the superannuations. Employee can, in the case of employee retires and employee resigns after working 5 years with a similar employers, and employer passed away or suffers disability due to the illness or accident. So all these are the criteria where employee gets the benefit of the Gratuity Act 1972. Now we are going to we are talking about Gratuity Act. Now the question is how it is been calculated and what are the criteria are considered while we are or any employer is calculating the gratuity of any employee. The amount is also dependent upon the number of years served in the company and the last on salary. The gratuity is equal to n into b into 15 divided by 26, where n is a number of years, a number of service in the company, and b is a last on basic salary plus DA. So as per that formula, we can say that the gratuity is totally depends upon the basic plus the basic salary plus the DA of that employee, which is been drawn at the last month of his service. For example, we will going to see one example of it. For example, Amit has worked with the company for 20 years and had 25,000 as his last drawn basic plus DA amount. Then the gratuity amount for the Amit is equal to 20 stand for the 20 years into 25,000, that is basic plus DA salary, into 15 divided by 26, which is equal to 2,88,461. However, an employee can choose to pay more gratuity to an employee. Yes, it is a totally choice of an employer. Means either he has to pay as per the government norms, or he can pay more. So it will be a totally choice of the employer, sorry. Now, calculations of gratuity for the employees who are not covered under the Gratuity Acts. The gratuity amount is equal to 50 into last drawn salary amount into the period of service divided by 30. For example, if you have at a company for 10 years and 8 months and your salary is 50,000, the calculation of the gratuity amount is done as follows. The gratuity amount 15 into 50,000 into 11 divided by 30, whatever outcome will be there, it should be a gratuity of that particular employee. Oh, while we are just we have seen the example that the service period is mentioned like 10 years and 8 months. In that case, the all the numbers are rounded up, and we can see the for 10 months, 10 years and 8 months, 11th year are been taken in the consideration while calculating for the gratuity. In the case of death of an employee, the gratuity benefits are calculated based on the tenure of the services of the employee. The amount is, however, subject to the maximum 20 lakhs. The following, there is a one table which has been telling us what kind of calculations will be there. So this is the table which is telling us what will be the calculations in the case of death of an employee, death of employee. So these are fixed criteria when any employee is serving less than 1 year, for 1 year, 5 years, 11 years, or 11 year plus less than 20 years, 20 years and more. All the criteria are being set and fixed by the Gratuity Act. Now, few significant points about the Gratuity Act. There are some points of the Gratuity Acts are most prominent points about the payment of the gratuity by an employer to an employee. An employee can receive a gratuity amount higher than 10 lakhs from his or her employer. The exemption for the tax is a case will be calculated as per the point listed under the taxations. Yes, there is some tax benefits are applicable for the gratuity amounts. The in the interim budget 9 2019, the earlier our financial minister Mr. Piyush Goyal announced that the existing tax free gratuity limit will be increased to 30 lakhs, in the sense there will not be any kind of tax on the 30 up to the amount of the 30 lakhs. The employer has the rights to reject the payment of the gratuity to an employee if he or she has been asked to leave his or her job owing to any misconduct. So when we are saying the Gratuity Act is a beneficial for the employee, in that case it is also beneficial for the employer also. So in the case of any misconduct, employer can refuse the payment of the employees. In the case of death of employee, the nominee or hire of the employee is paid the gratuity amount. The taxation for this is calculated for the receive under the head income of from the other sources. So these are the some significant which we have to consider when we have to think about Gratuity Acts. Then gratuity tax on the gratuity. The taxation process for the gratuity depends upon the employee who is receiving the gratuity amount. Two standard cases arises from the calculation of the tax on the gratuity. The government employee receiving a gratuity amount. In the case of employee under the state government, central government or local authority received a gratuity amount, then the amount is fully exempt from the income tax. For the state, the any government employee who is receiving gratuity from their from government, that for that full amount is exempted from the income tax. On any other salaried individual receiving gratuity amount from an employer who is covered by payment of Gratuity Acts, in that case the gratuity received by an employee whose employer is covered under the Gratuity Act, following amount is exempted from the tax: the 15 days salary as per the last drawn salary of the individual, any other salaried employer receiving a amount from an employer who is not covered by payment of Gratuity Act. In that case, list of the following three amounts exempted from the tax. First amount is 10 lakhs. Second one is gratuity actually received by an employee, half month of salary of every year of the service the employee has completed with the employer. So all these three criteria where the gratuity amount will be exempted from the tax. Now, tax exemption on the gratuity based on the policy change made during the 2016 budget. Here, what the gratuity looks like according to the Article 10. And that means we go little back. In the 2016, there was some amendment made into the Gratuity Act. Again, there is in the 2019 some amendment made. So all these amendments are regarding to the tax benefits on the gratuity amounts. Now the latest amendment which is being made by our current financial minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitaraman, and once the means any employee who is serving now for 1 year, he or she will be the eligible for gratuity also. Now this act is under amendment, means when we don't know when can we get that amendment, but this process is this act is now the correction in the Gratuity Act is in under process. So very soon we will going to have that act also, amendment also. So these are the conditions or amendments are right now made by Indian governments for the employer who are serving under any organizations or any employers. So this is what the Gratuity Act is. Now we have to we are having a much knowledge about the Gratuity Act. So please now write me into the comment whatever queries you are having regarding to the Gratuity Acts or any other acts which are associated with the employee and employers, or whatever you are having a query regarding to the, if you are having a query regarding Factory Act 1948, Labor Acts, whatever query you are having, just write me into the comments. I will definitely try to sort it out. Thank you for today. Thank you.